Having shaken up the market with its very first IONIQ, Hyundai did so again with this far more sophisticated IONIQ 5 EV. In this usefully updated form, it's still quite an arresting looking thing, and a car aimed at an EV mid-sized hatch and crossover segment typified by models like the Volkswagen ID4, Ford's Explorer, the Polestar 2, and this Hyundai's close cousin, the Kia EV6. You have to offer something interesting and different in that kind of company. The IONIQ 5 very definitely does.
Visually then, this isn't an EV for the shy and retiring, but will the driving experience be equally extrovert? Well, assuming you're not at the wheel of the top IONIQ 5N performance model, we have incidentally tested that separately. Well, the answer is no, but there is still plenty to like about a mainstream version of this car. The main changes to tell you about with this updated model relate to larger battery sizes and consequently slightly longer range figures. So the smaller 58 kilowatt-hour power pack that base variant started out with back in 2021, which could only manage a rather modest 238 miles, is now 63 kilowatt-hours in size and can take you 273 miles. As before, this battery energizes a 170 PS rear-mounted motor with 350 Nm of torque, and that propels the car to 62 in 8.5 seconds on the way to a 114 miles an hour top speed that all mainstream variants of this car share. But this setup still isn't really the best combination for propelling nearly 2 tons of Korean EV and delivering a decent range reading. So ideally you'd stretch to the mid-level powertrain that we're trying here, which gets the larger of the 2 available IONIQ 5 batteries. This long range power pack, originally 78 kilowatt hours in size with a 298 mile range, now 84 kilowatt hours with 354 miles possible between charges, or 320 miles in N-line spec. Now, to compensate for this denser battery's extra weight, Hyundai's tweaked the rear mounted motor to produce 228 PS, that's 11 PS more than before, but the 7.4 second 0 to 62 sprint time remains much the same. There's another variant with the same long range battery which adds an extra motor on the front axle, and that creates an all-wheel drive setup and boosts output to 325 PS, that's 20 PS more than before. In an all-wheel drive IONIQ 5 like that, the resulting 62 miles an hour sprint time falls to just 5.1 seconds, although the drive range figure also falls to a best of 307 miles. That's 22 miles better than before though. The same 84 kilowatt hour battery and a wild 650 PS version of the same twin motor all-wheel drive system is used by the top IONIQ 5N, but as we said, we've covered that car separately. The mainstream versions of this IONIQ 5 that Hyundai launched back in 2021 were intentionally set up to prioritize comfort. To that end, the brand engineered the mass market's very first integrated drive axle, which combines the drive shaft and the wheel bearings, and that benefits supple ride and handling stability. Owners though weren't universally positive about the rather soft feeling end result, so Hyundai fitted firmer rated smart frequency dampers as part of the 2023 model year update. It's the first time we've tried these, and there's a useful improvement over the rather floaty feel of the original without losing the comfortable travelling gait that's a welcome IONIQ 5 trademark. We thought the IONIQ 5 a striking thing when we first saw it, and we still do in this updated form. As before, the Zorro-style profile panel slashes, the forward-leaning C-pillars and the flush door handles make quite the style statement. And this is a bigger car than it might look in pictures. It's 4.6 meters in length. If you're trying to spot the mid-term visual updates, this redesigned front LED V garnish might be a giveaway to a fan of the brand. It's a little different at the back too, where the main change is one that we asked Hyundai for at launch, the addition of a rear wiper at last. There is also a slightly extended rear spoiler. Right, enough with all that, time to take a seat inside. Now, Hyundai doesn't call this a cabin. What we have here instead is a living space. However you brand it, this is quite different from anything that you'll have tried elsewhere. It's light, it's airy, it's spacious, and like the exterior, it is rather self-consciously avant-garde, although the double screen panel on top of the dash is really now familiar from other Hyundai Motor Group products. Other interior design features though, well, they really aren't. There's a walk-through footwell here like you used to get on Minis and Beetles in the old days, and the huge glove box is actually a slide-out tray. Avoid base trim, and this unusual universal island center storage console slides back and forth by 200mm. One of the few things about this cabin which has been significantly redesigned as part of this facelift. It's gained a button panel for the heating and cooling of the seats and steering wheel. These are functions which were previously buried in touchscreen menus. The other interior changes are minor and quickly covered. New pixel design door armrests, an auto-dimming digital center mirror, a darker surround for the twin screens to reduce reflection, and a refreshed design for the seats and the upholstery. Okay, let's take a look in the rear, the door for which opens so wide that you might struggle to put it right back in a really confined space. Thanks to a 3-meter wheelbase, which is even larger than something like a BMW X5, there's loads of room in the back, and it's aided by seats able to electrically slide fore and aft by up to 135 mils. Avoid base trim and you get a little lower 250 volt 16 amp 3-pin V2L or vehicle to load port for powering external devices. It's only usable though when the ignition's on. If the vehicle to load system's been fitted using an extra cost adapter, you'll be able to activate a second V2L port here within the powered driver's side charging flap. Out back there's a power operated tailgate above base trim which rises to reveal a reasonably sized 520 litre boot. If you push forward the rear seats, up to 1587 litres of total space can be revealed. Not all EVs in this segment give you extra storage space for the charging leads beneath the bonnet. The ID4 doesn't, for example, but you do get that here. The changes made to this updated IONIQ 5 won't be enough to persuade you into one if you weren't already convinced before. But if you were, seduced no doubt by the avant-garde looks, this mild mid-term update could be the clinching factor for you. Park an IONIQ 5 in the high street and people are still going to look. Invite others to join you inside and passengers are going to comment. If that isn't the feel you're after with your new EV, then lots of other brands will better satisfy you. But if it is, then this car is one that you need to try.